All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is our second month, our second meeting for what we're calling Exploring Integrity, and this is the possibility conversation. So, just to kind of do a quick check-in, I just want to ask everyone, how are you doing? The normal question we usually ask is, how are you arriving, and what are you bringing? So, I'll go ahead and just start real quickly, and then I'll just pass it on to the next person here. So I'm arriving feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty fired up in a way. I'm ready
Thanks,
to
Colin.
get doing to get to some work, but some work in a very collaborative way. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot about I don't know if you know this, but there's Michelle. There were some attacks that were made in Gaza during the Super Bowl, and I'm feeling pretty fired up about that, and really wanting to do some humanitarian work and really help people understand that war and poverty are just not necessary. So that's where my heart is, and I'm going to put myself on mute and pass it to Ray. Ray, how are you arriving, and what are you bringing?
Ah, um, I am arriving feeling pretty, um, I don't know what the word is, but a little bit spacey. I'm in my mom's house. Like a sh She literally, like, it's like a crystal shop in here. And I'm just a little like I've been inside a lot. It's raining outside, and I spent the whole morning at a cafe surrounded by a lot of energy. So I've just been kind of like trying to ground myself for the last little bit. Um, and yeah, I'm here and I'm happy to be here with you all and I'm happy that I'm not driving home from work like I thought I was going to be today.
Great, thank you, Ray. I'm gonna
And
have to pass it
I'll
to
pass
whoever.
it to Michelle.
That's me. And so the question is,
Welcome, Michelle. Yeah, we're just doing a quick check-in, 1 minute or less. Just how are you feeling? How are you arriving, and what are you bringing?
I am feeling good. Thank you for asking. I'm bringing an open mind. I'm very curious to hear what everyone is going to be sharing tonight. I'm looking forward to having different perspectives and looking forward to the sharing that we're going to have. And glad I too was not on the road today, like I was for our last meeting.
Great, thank you, Michelle. And then you can pass it to anyone who has not gone yet.
I don't know who has gone yet. I think I'm the last one to have
Just
joined.
myself and Ray.
Oh, Beth.
Hi. My screen has been going in and out with y'all, so I hope I don't freeze. Um, I'm coming in with a teeny bit of tension in my stomach today. I had a nice chat with Michelle, and I was telling her that I had a Bible study this afternoon, and I have a couple of older ladies who are way more concerned about the afterlife than they need to be, but they don't believe me when I tell them that Jesus is about what's going on here on earth. So I'm still processing and recovering from that a little bit, but I am here as my badass self, ready to rock the conversation. Should I pass it to someone then, Mike?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Beth.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to Nini.
Okay, I had to take myself off of mute. Hey, okay, so I'm showing up today just curiosity. I just went through a massive difficult stretch. Last 6 or so weeks, 4 to 6 weeks have been extremely traumatic, just with a repeating trauma theme, really thrown in my face in a very bad way. And I finally, once I cracked the code of surrendering to the trauma, I actually felt ill in my body last week, and there were certain like illnesses I used to feel, like not like real illnesses, but like certain sick feelings I used to have in my body when I was 12 years old. and I hadn't had it for years. And some of those started coming creeping back up. And I'm like, no, I did this when I was 12. I am not doing it again. And it was just a whole week of letting that process through as I was releasing this trauma. So I felt much, much better like later in the week. And I'm always someone that gives incredible gratitude for everything, like for especially health and, every breath of life and God. And it was just coming back, feeling better. It was like people say, how are you? And I'm like, oh my God, thank God. I feel good. I feel good. Like, you've no idea. Like all those yuck feelings are gone. So I'm just showing up. I'm very curious after having gone through that, what's opening, what's possible, channeling from God messages like, you're stepping into your sovereign self. This is what millionaire people do. This is how you become wealthy in all areas of your life, is doing this type of work. So get ready because it's coming. So I'm just very curious, and it's exciting. And I guess I'll just see what's happening. I don't know. I'll find out. It's that unknown that's exciting where I guess I get to choose. I get to collapse the wave function and say, hey, I choose this. So I choose just ultimate abundance, whatever that looks like, and bring it on.
Thank you, Nini. All right, so Becky, Amy, Kylea, and Lori have not gone yet, so you can pass it to any one of them.
Okay, I'll pass it to Lori.
Sorry, it takes forever to get the mic off. So I'm arriving excited because I am finding all these synergies between everybody magical, and I just want to continue seeing where this goes. So I'm arriving excitedly curious.
All right, thank you, Lori, and then
Oh.
you can pass it.
Oh, Amy, I'm going to pass it to you.
Okay, you're unmuting. There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Takes me a little bit. I'm just new at this, but thank you. I'm arriving open-minded, curious on getting to know all of you guys on a personal level, and just with unconditional love, just holding the space so we feel safe and able to do some great things. That's what I'm doing. So please remind me who hasn't gone. Sorry.
Sure, no problem, Amy. So far, Kylea, Becky, Kylea and Becky. They're the only ones I don't think who have gone yet.
Okay, Becky, I'll send it to you.
I'm arriving feeling pretty good and kind of like peaceful, hopeful, and it's been really nice interacting with people outside of the group, one-on-one. So that's good, and a couple of other interactions that have been going on lately have been really interesting.
Great, thank you, Becky. And then we'll pass it on to Kylea.
I am exhausted. I think in transparency, I'm probably arriving pretty exhausted and mentally and emotionally pretty drained. At this space, there's just some stuff going on in my personal life that would take up too much time to kind of talk about, but yeah, it's just sort of catching up with me. So I'm like excited to be here and participate, but yeah, I'm pretty tired and a little bit sort of pulled down at the moment.
And thank you for your honesty, Kylea, because that is really what I want to emphasize as well too. That showing up is the most important thing, and just showing up and being honest and authentic, I think, is really what reveals the value of this work. So thank you so much for that honesty. So since we are all here, so there are 9 of us, I am going to be just a little bit more. I'm going to be providing a little more structure to tonight's meeting. So as we go through this, if something comes up for you, and if something that you want to share, I want to encourage everyone. Please continue to nurture the relationships that are starting to come up here. We're going into the possibility conversation. So normally we don't do that until we've spent a lot of time in appreciation with each other, and so trust can be built. So I'm just kind of trusting and putting my faith in all of you that if something ever comes up, or if you're feeling like your heart is somewhere else, please feel free to speak to what feels safe to you in this moment. So I will just kind of say that for now. And if I keep clipping through this, and if anyone needs me to stop, slow down, please let me know. Yes, I have an agenda for tonight, but it's more important that we give each other the time and the space that is needed, to really, for whatever comes up, for what is emergent. So that being said, I'm going to just do my little introduction about what tonight is about. So the possibility conversation is about bringing deeper awareness of each other. In the appreciation conversation, we brought attention to each other, what each other is bringing to the table. Tonight, it's about deepening awareness of what each individual's intentions are. So we're still going to be practicing generous listening and reflecting, but the other collaborative skill that we're going to be adding on is curiosity. So we're going to be asking some very specific questions tonight about your highest outcome. What does it make possible? And what is it going to take? And from the kairotic flow perspective, and again, this is just my little footnote here, where we were pioneering a new way of convening with the appreciation conversation. Now we're settling in. The archetype is the settler, where we're starting to build something. So we're starting to build courses of action together as we build our relationships as well. And we do that through inquiry. So we call this phase kind of like an inquiry cluster. So we are a cluster of people, and we're asking deeper questions, and that is the method that we are going to be practicing tonight. Where last month, when we did the appreciation conversation, I brought your attention to the entire integrity pattern, which is appreciation, and tonight's possibility. Next time will be invitation. So those are just my little footnotes for tonight. So we are about 15 minutes into this conversation. We're going to do another round robin here, where I would like to ask everybody again, and we've covered this in our one-on-ones, and we've covered this in our appreciation conversation. And the answer to this question might have changed since last time, but I would really like to ask you all, what is the highest intention that you would like to, what is the highest outcome that you would like to accomplish in this year? So what is the highest outcome that you would like to experience this year? So on Facebook, we kind of already started to explore that a little bit. So we're going to do the same routine here, where we're going to pass it to each other and just keep it to about 30 seconds or less, whatever your response is. I'm going to take notes again, but I'm gonna go ahead and give mine first, and then I'm going to pass it to Amy, and then Amy's going to pass it to whoever else. But my highest outcome is to create an inner spiritual ministry this year, where I'm traveling and helping regions develop economically, and provide safe spaces where mental health can be, where there can be improved mental health. So that's my highest outcome this year. So I will pass it to Amy, because Amy, you had already answered that on Facebook, and I just want to ask: did the answer change, or is it the same?
No, I'm pretty much a steady person. I just wanted to comment, doing my active listening, that I'm really trying to implement is, I heard that your gifts, or your intention, is so beautiful, and I just, I can't wait to see it actually come to fruition. My intention happens to be creating heaven on earth, and which starts with you. So me and Lori had came up with that this today. So and I really like it. So that's my intention, and hopefully what is that going to take? A lot of grit, because sometimes
We'll we'll explore that in a little bit. Yes, yes. So we're going to go deep into what
Mhm.
is it going to take. But right now at this phase, I just want to hear brief.
Okay.
What is what is the highest outcome?
The
So yeah,
highest
heaven on
outcome
earth.
is, yeah, heaven on earth. There you
Great.
go.
All right. And then you can pass it to whoever else you want.
Lori.
Okay, I'm getting better at my time to get off the mute button. My highest outcome, really, I want to create genuine connections with people. Beyond the superficial, real, meaningful, foundational connections. And I appreciate, Amy, that you're trying to create heaven on earth, starting with you. I am a huge fan of that. And I'm really into that concept too. And also, Mike, just wanted to echo back. I think it's so awesome about the ministry thing, because I've been thinking about that too. So I just wanted to let you I hear both of you. And I'm going to ask Becky to go next.
So mine's changed a little bit because I would add on that my highest outcome would include not only deepened connection that is sustained after the 6 weeks are up, but also having a better idea of how I can contribute or be part of the overall thing we're trying to accomplish here, and like what impact I can have.
Great. Thank you, Becky. Go ahead and pass it.
I'll pass it to Michelle.
Thank you. My highest outcome that would be very satisfying and rewarding for me is if I could experience the expansion of bringing more healing into the world with the use of frequency. That is what I would like to do. And I would like to stay open to however those opportunities are delivered. And be ready for them when they arrive. That would be my highest outcome of what I would be looking for this year. And I want to thank you guys for sharing yours before me. And I would pass this on to Nini.
Okay, so my highest outcome is full expression of the entire self. And last time I had just said financial freedom and abundance, and that's definitely part of it, but I'm seeing in a bigger sense, full self-expression. That includes physical, that includes spiritual, that includes psychic, that includes everything as God is the infinite one. And just no holding back, full expansion in all ways and in all ways. And I'd like to pass it to Ray.
Okay, just in time because I was trying to write mine out. I don't communicate very well with words, except when I'm writing. So my highest possible outcome for this year is to experience financial freedom, specifically to provide the highest possible education for my children, along with the ability to travel, because I live in Maine and Virginia at the same time, and I have friends in Canada and Chicago and South Carolina. So, traveling costs resources and time. So, I need freedom in my time and my resources. So that would be the highest possibility for this year. I'll pass it to Kailia. Um, so my highest possibility has pretty much stayed the same, which is figuring out a way that I can help healers heal and like regroup and continue with the work that they're meant to do for everyone else. Um, the only thing that I think I would add would be financial freedom and health and healing for specific people in my family. That would be the only other little thing that would have popped in there for me.
Thank you. So I don't think Beth has gone yet. So why don't we pass it to Beth next?
I think I'm it. It hasn't changed too much from the last time. Although I liked what Amy said about providing heaven on earth. I buy that as well. My goal, my highest possible goal for the year is to continue to develop disciples of Christ and create heaven on earth for everybody, and to try to, convince people that it's not about the afterlife, but I don't, whatever.
Mm.
And also to experience true love for myself in another human being. Those are the highest goals for me right now.
Great. All right. Thank you, Beth. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick out two of you, and we're going to do a quick demonstration of how the first part of this conversation goes before I put you in the breakout rooms. Okay, so Amy and Michelle, I want to give you both a little more time in this conversation since we really missed your presence last time. So I want to kind of give a little more airtime to you guys for the first few minutes here. But what we're going to do is we're just going to demonstrate a couple of layers of the possibility conversation. So I want you to reflect back on your answers. So for you, Amy, it's it's heaven on earth, and what does that make possible for you? And Michelle, what I heard, you said a couple of things, but you said the expansion of healing. So I'm going to ask you, what does the expansion of healing make possible? So I'll go first. So mine is about establishing a ministry for for better mental health and economic development. So I have to ask myself, what does that make possible? And what I think that makes possible, honestly, is deeper healing, for more people in a non-violent, non-confrontational way. So I'm going to write down my answer because when we go to the next layer, I'm going to ask myself, well, what does deeper healing make possible? And now I'm going to pass it to Amy. Okay, so what does heaven on earth make possible for you?
Let's see. Heaven on earth for me would be a self of accomplished and worth. It is dealing with healing. It's dealing with all the things that interest me, such as art, frequencies, my spiritual gifts, helping others in a more balanced and healthy way for myself, and financial freedom and a safe haven pretty much for others to come to recharge that are doing the same work as being the humanitarians of the world. They can come and recharge in a safe place. So that's kind of how it works for me.
So I heard a lot of different answers there. So I'm going to repeat back what I heard.
Okay.
And you can pick one of those for the next round about what does that make possible. So what I have is more accomplishment, more worth, use of your spiritual gifts, being able to make more art or being attuned to the art frequencies, and also creating a safe haven. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna leave it up to you to pick one of those to address on the next round here.
Okay.
So now we go to Michelle. Michelle, so what what does the healing expansion make possible for you?
It makes possible for me to reach larger amounts of people who may be struggling with the biology of their bodies, and being a resource for them to experience their physical healing so that they can create the space
Mm,
for their consciousness to rise.
great. Space for consciousness. Okay, so what I'm hearing is, reach, you want to reach more people and help them out with the physical healing, the biology of the body is what I'm hearing. So being a resource for physical healing and a space for that consciousness. So I'm going to ask you to pick one of those layers, one of those, and it might be, what does reaching more people make possible, or what does healing more people make possible? So that's what I'm going to ask you to consider for the next round here. Okay. So mine was deeper healing. We're starting to find some correlations in this conversation. So now for my next layer, what does deeper healing make possible? What I think deeper healing makes possible is an experience that makes manifestation faster, that helps manifestation be more emergent. So that is that is my layer. What does faster manifestation make possible? Okay, so now we're going to go to you, Amy. So what did you pick from your last answer that you want to go a little deeper on?
Safe haven.
Yeah.
Creating a space where people can feel one, free, non-judgmental, not judgmental, and to be their true authentic self with no worries about backlash. I think it's the fastest way to get to higher consciousness. So holding that space would be where I would go.
Okay,
first.
great. So just reflecting back, so I'm role modeling, reflecting back for all of you when you go in your breakout rooms. What I heard is a non-judgmental space. I'm sorry, my kids are making a lot of noise outside. Being free from worries. So that's what I heard. Those are my notes. So it might be, what does more non-judgmental space make possible, or any of the other answers that you came up with. So Michelle, what did you pick from your last answer that you would like to go a little deeper with?
Well, I guess the first one is the expanding the people's abilities to um heal physically using the biological techniques,
Mm-hmm.
and that allows them to experience relief. And I would like to be a part of allowing them to have that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what I'm hearing is the experience of relief. So the next layer down, when we go into the breakout rooms, might be, what does greater relief for more people make possible? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you into 3 different breakout rooms. So some of you will be in a group of 3, some of you will be in a group of 2. You're just going to keep doing what we role modeled here, what Amy, Michelle, and I role modeled. And I'm going to let you guys go for about 25 minutes. The recording will follow me as I peek into each of the breakout rooms. But before I do that, before I put you into random breakout rooms, do you have any questions about how to do this conversation? No? Okay. All right. So let me go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Michael, how
Mhm.
many layers should we go? Or should we just do as many as we have time for?
As much as you have time for. So normally when this happens, it can go 7 or 8 layers deep. And what I would like you to be listening for are common ground values, common ground, common ground intentions. And also if something comes up like a project that we might, you might want to work with one of our other members with, that might come out of it. So when we all reconvene after about 20, 25 minutes, I'm going to ask you what was most alive for you in that conversation, and that's going to be how we start to build our alignment together, build intentions together. All right, so let me go ahead and do the breakout rooms. We're going to do 3. And we're going to do assign automatically. Let's create that. All right, great. Excellent. Okay. All right. I will see you guys in your breakout rooms.
It's not that it's going to cause, it's like that they work together. Like, it's like, we think of things in space-time as cause and effect, but it's going to be, it's in tandem, it's parallel. As I transcend and transmute past the insufficiency, I'm going to see everything that's already been there. It's like, it's like when you remove a blinder and everyone says, happy birthday, surprise. Like, they were all there, but you just didn't realize it. So I feel like it's the removal of the blinder that's going to allow me to realize everything that I've already had all along. And, showing that that's possible, not just for me, but whoever wants to can step into that full self-expression. Like, we're not supposed to be living in this porous, pure mindset. It's like a slap in the face to God. Sit there and say, well, you gave me all this abundance. I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm going to starve myself and abstain from any type of pleasure.
Okay, so I'm hearing more of the like opening up to multidimensional experiencing, like just really because you can't experience something that you can't see. Right?
Yeah, and when I say see, I don't just mean with the physical senses, but you can't experience it. It's like basically people have asked me, how do you do God channeling? And I say, God channels through everyone. But this is why emotional intelligence and emotional honesty is so important, because if we're blocked off by victim mentalities or itty bitty pity committee and all that jazz, it's like a blocked artery. We don't let the blood and the nutrients flow through, and we block ourselves. So it's a release of that block and saying everything is available always.
Okay. So then I guess the next layer would be what would that multidimensional experiencing and releasing of those blocks of insufficiency, would that make possible?
That would make possible, I think, a lot of the universal peace that people are looking for, peace and truth, and like these paradigms of love, truth, and joy, because we live in such a competitive, restrictive world, and we blame everybody else. Well, I don't like this person because I don't like the color of their skin, and I don't like this person because I don't like the way they identify with God or whatever BS it is. And instead of looking at it that way, it'll be an expansion of, we are all here doing a different role, and that's not going to come off as threatening anymore. That'll come off as, it's like, we have 2 different pitches in music, creating a chord, a harmony, as opposed to creating, a dissonance of cacophony. It'll be much more harmonious. And, people say they pursue like world peace or whatever, or truth. But the way to do that isn't to sit there and start preaching, well, love is the answer. It's like, we have to be loving on the inside. It's an as within, so without. So I feel like that's very crucial.
Yeah. Wow. Did you have questions, Kalia, for Nini?
I guess I don't know if it's like exactly related to what we're doing, but it is a curiosity factor of because in things that I do, I encounter a lot of people who would not be receptive to most of that message at this moment due to personal like life, like economic status that they're in, cultural status that they're in. Just there's like all these different intersections that they would be dealing with, that something like that type of sort of message or communication in some ways for them would feel like an erasure of their experience and what is happening to them and what they are going through. And so like, I guess my curiosity would be, how would you meet those people where they are with your message and what you're trying to bring?
So that's a really good question. And, I can totally very much appreciate what you're saying, because that's been most of my life where I've had this, like I was born with this message and everyone thought I was crazy. Nobody really believed me. And people still kind of think I'm a little bit woo-woo for it. They're outside the box, but I'm meeting more people that do understand. And even people in spiritual communities, they still will sometimes get really nasty when they feel threatened. And for those types of people, I don't even try to actually speak to them directly, because I do want to respect what they're going through. So those types of people would not be my target audience. Those would be the kinds of people that I just, in my heart, I hold space for. And I'm reading a book called Seth Speaks. And, and I felt this also, our physical actions are the things that seem to have the big kahuna that everyone, is all rah, rah, rah about, but it's our emotions and our thoughts and our intentions create ripple effects in the cosmic, multidimensional space. So if I can't impact these people physically with the spoken word or, whatever, a book that I write or a lecture that I give, I pray for them. I just connect them in my heart and I say, I can't convince them, and I'm not going to try, because my job isn't to change anybody. It's just to hold space and say, these people are suffering. They're suffering with all kinds of stuff. And whatever it is they're going through, I just hold space in my heart that these people should have whatever it is they need. And please do not listen to me if I don't feel like I'm the right advice for you. Don't ever feel like you have to. Never take my word as dictum, ever. Do what you need to do. And whatever that is, I pray that you find happiness in the best way possible. So I wouldn't even try to address those types of people, not because I don't love them, but because I love them. I will just say, I release you. And, whenever you're ready, for whatever you're ready, I hope that you find legitimate, genuine happiness and love in the best way possible.
So, Michael, I have a question. How are we taking turns with this? Like, are we going back and forth? Because I know you were kind of facilitating going back and forth between Amy and Michelle. So I'm just not sure, like, Nini went deeper. Should we keep going with Nini, or should we switch off?
I would say let's switch off, because about almost a third of the time is gone now. So I would say for every 8 minutes, go ahead and switch off and see, maybe just focus on one person and going a couple layers deep.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll probably send a text out to everybody when we're getting into the last 8 minutes or so. So I would say let's turn the focus to, either yourself or to Kylia.
Okay. Kylia, would you want me to go first, or do you want to go? You want me to go first? Okay. So,
All told me what it was.
Wow. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hi.
So, we were talking about Becky's. Lori, why don't you tell about the deeper connections that you want to experience, because you haven't had that great opportunity yet.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm going through like a detox, if you will, of people, things just in my life that just don't fit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And while I can be by myself, I you talk about you want to date or get a love interest, but me, I'm okay being myself. I'm really having a relationship with myself for the first time, and God. And I feel like, and spirit, source, whatever you call it, I get it. And I feel very connected to it. And I also feel connected to the right people. So I feel like what's happening to me, and to try and my end goal, trying to develop genuine connections, I feel that by going to meetings like this and having these conversations and talking about real things, deep things that affect people and make a difference in people's lives. Like, and I feel that working on projects together, I feel that creating these relationships are really, really helping, because I feel like I've just been by myself for so long because it's been safer, because no one challenged me and said what I believe is I'm nuts, because and it feels really good to come back into the land of the living and to, like, some of the things I'm doing, talking to people, making connections, it's making me feel like a contributor again. And I haven't felt like that due to illness and other things for a long time. So I'm really enjoying getting to know each and every one of this people in this group and these projects, because that's helping me get to the next stage. And as I get to know more people, Lori 2.0 is coming out, and I'm finding out where I'm supposed to go, who I'm supposed to be with. And I feel like the pieces of the puzzle are starting finally to come together.
That's awesome.
And I feel like all of you are part of that. We're all like working on this together. I love that we're all coming together,
Yeah.
because it's fascinating. The more I talk and hear and listen, more I listen, I hear the common values of wanting to have peace, heaven, happiness, value. And I realize, like, we could use different words, but we're looking for a lot of the same things.
That's beautiful said. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. I
Just
feel
like
it.
you.
Thank you. I have a hat on to cover my gray hair. So
I went and dyed my gray hair, by the way.
oh my God.
I embrace it.
So,
I was watching a little kid. He said, "Why is your hair so white?" Oh my God.
Lori, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Try to stick with the exercise. So what I've heard is that you're feeling like you're in a good space for the first time in a long time, and that you're feeling connected to all of us in a personal way, and that you felt connected to God, but you didn't quite know it until now. So my question for you is, what is your next step to your most possible goal?
I'm continuing to reach out to people. Like, instead of waiting for like buddy pairings, I'm just reaching out. I'm just going out and trying to make connections with people. And like, I joke, Amy and I have had so many conversations. I think we're at the end of I don't know how many layers down, but it's just, I look forward to finding more time with people, and having more one-on-ones outside of this, because it makes it easier for things, to have the connections, in a group, when I've already established nice one-on-one things. So I'm enjoying pursuing those one-on-ones and having follow-ups outside the exercises. It helps me. And that's what I would like to start to do. I just started doing that with just Amy, and I would like to do that, with the rest of us in the group and outside.
Amy, where do you live?
Well, I'm actually technically homeless, but I did purchase some land in Tennessee, and end of the month I should be down there full time living in my car. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I'm creating it. And I've got a piece of raw land that I'm going to create my own house.